Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. His Moon, His Prisoner. Episode 9. Chapter 41. Can you answer a question for me? I asked. If I know the answer, I will definitely, he responded, smiling. Tell me why Asher hates lone wolves so much? I inquired. As soon as he heard my question, the smile vanished from his face. I am sorry, but I can't tell you about it, he replied, lowering his eyes as he apologized to me. Please, it is necessary for me to know. If you have any respect for me, I hope you will tell me the truth, I prodded. The dilemma was clearly visible on his face. He was debating back and forth in his mind many times before revealing anything. Okay, I suppose it is prudent to tell you, he sighed as if what he was about to tell me was a great burden. I noticed that people were gradually making their way out of the canteen. Class was about to start, but I had decided that I would not move from this seat without learning the truth today. Our new moon pack has not always been rich and powerful, but Alpha Gabriel has achieved this with his hard work. 11 years ago, as Luna's birthday festival was being celebrated in our pack, we were suddenly attacked by hunters and a group of wolves together. At that time Asher and I were only 7 years old. Many people died due to this sneak attack and the entire pack was filled with corpses. Only 10 people survived, including Alpha Gabriel, my father, and thankfully my mother who had gone with David to his maternal uncle's pack. Luna was 3 months pregnant at the time and could not take part in the fight. That is why, following Alpha's orders, she was trying to save Asher and me by taking us out of the pack. She should not have run in her pregnant condition, but she was willing to go to any extent to save both of us. Even though she was not willing to leave Alpha Gabriel alone, she had to follow his orders. Both of them loved each other beyond words that Luna was not ready to run away from him. She wept in sorrow the entire way, but did not loosen her grip on either of our hands. But then what Asher and I were afraid of happened. An arrow came soaring through the air and stabbed directly into Luna's shoulder, near her chest. She screamed out in such agony that Alpha Gabriel came to hear it. We knew that Alpha Gabriel would be coming, but the arrow that had hit Luna was made of silver. 4 men came out from behind the trees, laughing. They were of course hunters, but there was also a familiar face there too. He was none other than a dear friend of Alpha Gabriel, his childhood friend. He was a lone wolf that had come many times to visit our pack, Leo continued. I could see that this was a hard subject for him to talk about, so I reached forward and gently squeezed his hand, nodding for him to go on. The lone wolf confessed to the tortured Luna that he had betrayed Alpha Gabriel. That he had been the one that had conspired with the hunters. His reasoning behind it all was simple jealousy. Asher was furious at witnessing his mother in that condition. She lay there telling both of us to escape as she knew that if we stayed would both die, but Asher has been stubborn since childhood. He was adamant that he would not go anywhere other than to aid his mother. That was the moment that 2 of the hunters drove the 2 of us away from Luna. The lone wolf barbarically dragged Luna behind the trees as she screamed in anguish and terror. Rivets of blood were flowing from her body. We knew if she didn't get help she was going to die soon. Asher bit the hand of the hunter that held him while I did the same, when I had seen what he had done as I used to imitate him all the time as a child. Due to the speed of the 2 of us, the hunters could not catch us. We both ran behind the tree, but the sight in front of us was one we had never seen before. That lone wolf was our *G Luna, saying how he had always wanted to do it. He was thanking the hunters for giving him this opportunity, while she was under him. Alpha Gabriel had already arrived to rescue Luna, but the other hunters had completely pressed her head into the ground and Alpha was only watching Luna die. Both my father's legs had been broken by these people and they had also broken one of Alpha's hands. But even in those conditions he had not cared about the pain and was looking at Luna, who was screaming in agony. Seeing her blood flowing, everyone understood that she had lost the child present in her womb. Next thing we knew, Alpha Gabriel had used his full force of strength to push all the hunters away from his body who had been holding him down. He wrenched out the hearts of each hunter as well as their eyes. Seeing Luna in that condition, he went completely psychotic. My father, on the other hand, was trying to recover and heal his legs so that he could help Alpha. As soon as he had healed one leg, he stood up again. One of the hunters tried to stab Alpha with a silver knife. He was successful in it too. Alpha howled in pain, but just then my father ran towards him, took the silver knife from his chest and threw it on the ground, which fell directly at Asher's feet. Leo said, stopping for a moment to take a breath. By the time my father and Alpha were facing the hunters and the other wolves, killing them, Luna had perished. Asher witnessed all of this with his eyes, and by then the lone wolf had escaped. Other members of the pack chased after him, hoping to deliver the ultimate punishment for hurting their Luna. All the hunters were dead, but Alpha was crying, holding Luna in his arms. He became absolutely unhinged with sorrow due to Luna's death. My father noticed that Asher was not present. Upon hearing this, Alpha Gabriel realized that Asher had set out to kill that lone wolf. This was confirmed when I saw that the silver knife that had been lying on the ground had disappeared. Asher was just 7 years old and everyone thought that he could not face that lone wolf alone. Alpha Gabriel instantly rushed to save his only reason for living. At that same moment he received a mind link from the other pack members about Asher. He reached the main door of our pack house, the rest of us following close behind. The scene in front of our eyes shocked everyone's senses. A blood-soaked Asher stood at the door, holding the same silver knife in his hand that Alpha Gabriel had been attacked with. The lone wolf who had our * Luna and had been the cause of her death, had been stabbed to death by Asher with a knife. Asher had stabbed him not once or twice in the chest, but at least 80 to 90 times. The lone wolf was so disfigured that God too would have avoided identifying him. Asher had turned into a monster. He had completely bathed in that wolf's blood. Despite his death, he was looking at his corpse with hatred and rage. Alpha Gabriel came running to him and immediately threw the silver knife away from him as his hand was completely burnt, but he had not felt any burning pain due to his fury. Embracing him, he tried to calm Asher because at that age he had seen so many things that he shouldn't have. Ever since that day, Alpha has never been able to get out of Asher's mind that our pack was ruined by a lone wolf's deception. He lost his mother, he lost his unborn sister, and everyone cried in the pack that day, everyone except for Asher. He never forgot the grief of his unborn sister and his mother's deaths, the horror of his mother's *E. Since that day, no one could remove the hatred of the lone wolf from his heart, it has only increased. From that day forward he told Alpha that he wanted to live in a hostel and requested to complete his studies in the city to live there. Alpha thought that it was the best way for him to forget everything, but it never happened. It was Asher's way to escape from his pack, which was full of bad and painful memories. He usually only returns if Alpha Gabriel asked him to. So now most of the time he uses the excuse of dinners and pack lunches, so that he would be able to see his broken son who turned into a monster. Whenever Asher used to see a hunter, their savage death was certain, and the same would be said for a lone wolf. He does not only hate them, but he is lethal to them. He did not kill them, he destroyed them. He never let them even step foot in this school ever. He did not even like their shadows, but no one predicted that the moon goddess would give him a mate, a lone wolf mate, that would change his life. During these last 7 days, he sat frenziedly near his mother's grave. Despite Alpha Gabriel's persuasion, he was unwilling to move away and continued to talk to his mother, apologizing to her, saying that he had made a mistake. He had sinned. Ultimately, Alpha Gabriel had to use his alpha tones so that he would move away and regain cognitive function. He again left the pack immediately. Leo enlightened me about everything. This entire time tears had been leaking from my eyes. Now I understood his hate and anger towards me. Why he had always pushed me away. Why he had left me in my house alone. I could not believe the burden he had been bearing all this time, including me. "Thank you for telling me everything, Leo." I thanked him sincerely. "Please don't cry, Luna. I think you have the right to know about your mate. You should know this about him," Leo concluded, not saying anything else. At that moment both Lena and I became restless. It was like the last time. Something was wrong with him. I quickly got up from my seat, left my bag right there and ran towards the gym. No one was in the way as they had left to attend their classes, so I did not care about anything and used my wolf speed. I reached Asher in a few minutes as soon as I reached the gym room. He was walking out of the room and looked fine, but I didn't understand why I had gotten that strange panic as if something had happened to him. His eyes were full of sorrow and misery. Now I knew the reason for all of this. As he was gazing at me with those eyes, I could not help but run towards him and hug him tightly. Lifting my heels up, I wrapped my both hands around his neck, hugging him as tight as I could. I felt as if he wanted to hug me back, but he did not. He stopped himself and just closed his eyes. "Remember, when you said to me that she should know the reason behind his behavior?" I asked, moving away from him a little. "I did. I found out everything. I know why he is broken," I revealed. Hearing me, he just stood there looking more broken, as now I knew everything about his mother. His eyes were bloodshot and my words had only increased his pain, as maybe he was reliving everything again. "But do you know what? You told me not to give up. But I think I should give up. Not for myself but for you too," I whispered, looking into his eyes. "Let's forget everything that happened between us on the mountain. You can reject me, whenever you want. I will wait and accept it for us," I continued, touching his cheeks. "Now don't blame yourself just because you touched me. Don't call yourself a sinner just because you mated with me and think that you have done me a kindness." I slowly removed my hands from his face. "I will take it as a one-night stand," I finished. Those were the last words that I needed to tell him. As I was about to remove my hands from his face after taking a moment to memorize his handsome face one last time, he suddenly placed his hands on top of mine. He stopped my hands right there on his face. His other hand touched my waist softly. That's the problem," he muttered with tears glistening in his eyes as well. He touched my forehead to his own. "I wish I could, but I cannot forget anything," he whispered as tears fell from both of our eyes. Lily's P.O.V. After washing my face and eyes in the bathroom I came out, but as soon as I reached the canteen, I saw Bella running away from there. She appeared to be very nervous and in a hurry. I did not know whether or not I should follow her, but for a moment I felt as if this matter must be connected to Asher, so I decided not to. I reached the table where I had left my school bag and I did not know why it felt as if Leo had been there before my arrival. It was strange that I was able to feel and sense him like that. I looked around but he was not here anymore, but I could feel his eyes on me. Picking up mine and Bella's school bag, I started walking towards class. I knew that he was watching me from some corner, but I could not see him no matter how hard I tried. I turned back, looking at the same place where my bag had once been and knew that he must have been in the canteen or somewhere close to it. After about 15 minutes I saw Bella again, when she entered the class. She looked normal and was completely focused on the teacher's words. It did not seem like anything had happened between her and Asher again. She smiled at me and began reading her book. After 2.5 weeks, it was going to be our school final exam and the end of this school year. Seeing how fast this year had passed, it was unbelievable how many new things had happened, as well as how many horrors we had endured. I learned about a whole new world that I had been totally unaware of, which I have now joined even after not wanting to. Even if I did not want to, I was not able to forget nor did I want to forget. That was when Leo's face appeared in my mind, when he told me that he would never cause me any harm. My hand again went to my lips and my heart began to beat out of control. His wet lips that had crushed into mine were just crazy. Suddenly I felt an aching between my legs and I immediately closed my legs. What was I thinking? Why was my body reacting this way to only thoughts about him? "Lily, I hope you will stop daydreaming in class and focus," the teacher interrupted. I quickly looked at my notebooks. Since when did I start having erotic thoughts? I did not know why I was thinking of myself with him, but one thing was clear: because of him I was still agitated whether he was standing in front of me or not. He was still able to bother me from afar. The whole day was over quickly and I had to work in the shop. Today, Bella was handling the counter with another girl. She was smiling at customers, but something was wrong. That was when I noticed the same boy entering the shop, the same one who had come for the last few days in the morning and evening to buy similar items. I checked him out and I had to admit that he looked more handsome today. White really was his color. These rich people could wear new clothes daily. He always entered the shop never going anywhere different, his feet only stopped in front of Bella. "Hey Bella! You look tired. Come here. Let me wipe away your sweat. It makes me worry," he chattered, pulling his handkerchief out, wiping her sweat. She tried to stop him, but he was not listening to her. Bella had told me that he had openly confessed his feelings for her, but she had said they were only friends. I rolled my eyes as he started flirting even more. Any blind person can see that he liked her. He was openly hitting on her, trying his best, but something about him felt dangerous. The way he looked at Bella was not normal. He seemed obsessed with her and it gave me creeps. The way that he watched her as if he owned her or something. Who was he after all? Bella may not have noticed it, but I had. Hey Lily, David's voice interrupted my thought from behind me and I flinched. Oh God David, why did you suddenly come from behind me? I was so scared for a moment that I thought that I was going to have a heart attack. I scolded him. He just laughed, holding his stomach, saying that I was looking funny when I was scared. By the way, what are you doing here? Do you need to buy anything? I asked him as he was helping me restock merchandise. No, I just came here to hang out, he replied. I knew he was making excuses. Come to hang out? In the shop? I challenged him, but I only received a big smile in response. It meant coming here to hang out was definitely an excuse. I was working near the window from which I could clearly see David's car. Slowly lifting my eyes, I tried to look inside the car, but I could not see anything clearly. Are you looking for Leo? David inquired out of the blue. I swiftly moved my eyes away from the car, turning to the other side. No. I was just looking outside. I can see that it has become profoundly dark outside, I replied. David just nodded as he listened to me, but he still had a smile on his face as if he was not believing a word I said. Did something happen between the two of you on the mountain? He asked and I stayed silent. Nothing had really happened, but I had lived the most thrilling moment of my life there, the most precious too. When I shared a part of my life with him. When he kissed me and I did not push him away, rather I kissed him back. For that had been the first time in my life I had kissed a boy. So neither of you are saying anything. As I have asked Leo and he has said the same thing. For a time I thought that you had rejected him, David commented, and I was shocked. What? I rejected him? I asked him in confusion. He nodded his head worriedly. Yet, he is so dejected, distressed, and not smiling anymore. When I asked the reason, he would not say anything. We have totally lost our Leo after that day. Now you are also saying that nothing happened, but I want to tell you something, Lily. Leo is not a boy who easily talks to anyone, especially if it is a human. He hates humans, David revealed, looking sad. Why? Why does he hate humans? I questioned as I could see that Leo was the one who hated humans most. Because of hunters. 11 years ago, when hunters and some wolves attacked our pack, on that day Leo was with my father, the older brother of Alpha Gabriel. That was the day when I lost my father. My father was the first who was shot with their silver arrows. They aimed at Leo too, but my father saved him, calling Beta Levi just in time, otherwise today Leo could be dead along with my father. He was more attached to my father than I was. It was like Leo was his son, not me. I used to be jealous at that time too. After seeing the death of my father in front of his eyes, Leo had always hated humans. He constantly blamed himself for my father's death as he died while saving him, David explained. My heart was full of grief over learning about Leo's past. Now all the parts of the past were linked together when he used to say that he hates humans. Asher and Leo are more than brothers to me, but for Leo he is not an easy male. It is not easy for him to accept a human as a mate. I know the matter is related to him being a werewolf, you being a human, and neither of you telling anyone, but I hope that you will think wisely before making any decisions. Only one word from someone can break your heart. It is also not easy for Leo, you know. David told me with a smile. I just looked out of the window again towards the car. I do not know why but I could sense Leo was inside, even though David said he was alone here. I felt that he was watching. Then the smile on David's face disappeared. He was looking around as if he was looking for someone. What happened? Is there any problem? I asked in a panic, because after the incident that happened on the trip that day, I was worried that wolves might come here and a battle would start. He was sniffing the air and then frowned. The future alpha of the Greenwood pack was here recently. David angrily exclaimed, setting out in search of him. He was looking for that alpha like a mad dog, as if he would kill him when he lay eyes on him. Alpha? What was he doing here? Then my eyes went to Bella, who was giving an order to another customer, but I could not see Ian. It was strange that today he had left so early. He did not buy any items. It usually takes Bella at least an hour and a half to pull out whatever items he buys. The whole time he follows her around the shop, but not today. That means that he left without purchasing his usual order, but why? He is not here now, but I am sure he was here. David muttered, but his eyes were still scanning the store for him. I did not ask him anything, but it seemed to me that the future alpha of that Greenwood pack had to be his enemy. I only knew it was Victoria's former pack. Okay Lily, I should leave now. Say hi to Bella for me. I have to give this information about Ian to Alpha Asher as well, David said, immediately walking out of the store. Bella also saw him leave, but she could not talk to him as she was busy working. But wait! Did David call the alpha of Greenwood pack Ian? The boy who comes to see Bella, his name is also Ian. Are they both the same? Was he an alpha? Soon all the customers left the shop. Today I changed the signboard on the door from open to closed. Bella was still busy putting stuff away and working like a crazy person, but I grabbed her hand, placing her on a chair. Enough work now. Let's enjoy a coffee and talk about some things, I coaxed, placing the coffee in front of her as we both started decompressing. What do you want to talk about? Bella asked me in a normal voice. You look very strange today. You don't seem like your everyday self. I replied, sipping my coffee. I don't look normal? What do you mean, Lily? She asked me with a laugh, trying her best not to open up. First of all, you are not looking normal because the laughter that you have is fake or just to show people that you are perfectly fine. Nothing has happened to you, but the truth is that you are very sad and in pain, which you are trying to hide from everyone. The friendship between us has been for more than 3 months and I have come to understand you enough to recognize when you are upset and when your laughter is real. I lay it all out for her. As soon as she heard me, she stopped smiling. Now I could see the real expressions on her face that reflected what was truly going on in her mind. Whom she was hiding under her laughter. If there is any issue, you can tell me. I am ready to listen to you. I told her, placing my hands on hers. She nodded her head. Leo came to the canteen today, Bella replied, finally deciding to share her problems with me, but after hearing Leo's name my own mouth went dry. That means my suspicions were correct. He really had been in the canteen, but he left before I had come back. And I prodded her to continue. He told me the reason behind him and Asher not coming back to school. Asher had been sitting near his mother's grave for the last 7 days apologizing to her and calling himself a sinner. I also came to learn why he hates lone wolves so much, Bella replied. When she suddenly mentioned the lone wolf, I felt a heaviness in her voice as if she was being battered by the very word. Asher's mother was murdered by a lone wolf when she was 3 months pregnant. Hearing Bella's words, my whole body went cold and my hands went over my mouth. It was absolutely unbelievable. The lone wolf in question was a childhood friend of Alpha Gabriel. Asher could never forget that betrayal, the death of his unborn sister, the murder of his mother. That's why he hates the lone wolves, Bella explained to me. The whole time her eyes had not been me, but on her hands. She was still holding her emotions in. But Bella, what's your fault in this? Why does he hate you? All lone wolves are not the same, are they? I asked, trying to encourage her, but when she looked at me, her eyes were filled with tears. Yes, you are right. All are not the same, but with everything that he has been through and everything that he has seen with his own 2 eyes, he cannot forget it. I can understand this very well as I too have gone through such an incident. Not once but twice, first when my dad killed and then again with my mom. When I have not forgotten, when I have not forgiven, do I have the right to request the same of someone else? Bella pointed out, and every single word Bella uttered was true. Murder of his own mother was not a small thing. Bella's P.O.V. Then what have you decided? Lily asked in a low tone. I have decided to forget everything and move on with my life, I replied. I could tell she was surprised with my answer. What are you talking about? After whatever happened between the 2 of you on the mountain that day, I don't think anything is normal between you two. Forgetting everything, it is absolutely impossible to move forward in life. You have given him your first time, you have shared your beautiful moment with him. If you did, then you would hurt yourself the most, Lily argued, trying to convince me, but my face turned into a wince. I was going to cry soon. I remembered the cake that he brought for me on my birthday, the beautiful moment that we spent in the woods with our wolves, that race, the long drive. The day on the mountain, when he touched me, he took my virginity and mated with me. Everything was making me insane. It was so agonizing. Maybe you are right, but even if I was around him knowing everything about his past, I would not be anything other than a burden. I could not understand how he even breathed around me. Now everything seems excruciating to me when I think about my past with him. Everything reminds me that we have not become better for each other but just a mistake made by the moon goddess. I admitted as tears flowed down my cheeks. It was now unbearable for me. At that moment I got a message from an unknown number. I wiped my tears and checked it. They were photos. The phone slipped from my hand as it fell on the floor. I saw what the photos were of. What happened? Lily asked, picking my phone and looking at the screen. In this photo Asher was with Jessica on the bed, kissing him, but he was also kissing her. She was on top of him. I did not dare to look at more of the photos that had been sent. Lily looked up at me with a sympathetic look. He has already moved on in his life, I quietly remarked and walked out of the shop after placing the keys of the shop in Lily's hand. I opened the shop door and as I put only one leg out I heard her. Do you love him? Lily asked as more tears leaked from my eyes. I ran out of the shop shifting into my wolf as it was pitch dark out. I ran into the woods that surrounded the city. I do not know how and when it happened, but I have fallen for him. I love him. I only loved him. Asher's P.O.V. Asher, I need to give you some important information. David screamed as he entered the main door of the house, not knowing that I was already in the living room of the mansion. He spotted me immediately and sat on the sofa in the living room. The good thing is that all the members of the pack are here, David said upon seeing the principal, Leo and other members. Have you come to tell us that Ian was in the store where Luna and Lily were at work? Leo asked, raising his brows, and David was a little shocked. How did you know about this? David asked, looking at me only to find that I was constantly staring at my laptop, which was placed on top of the table. David got up from the couch and sat next to me. That implies that you were watching everything from a laptop? He inquired, and I just nodded. How could I forget that you are the owner of that shop and everything is in your hands? You are really something, brother. I could never get your mind, but now I understand why you are alpha, David confessed with a slight laugh. But what do you think? Why would he have come there? David asked me. He did not come there only today, rather he has been coming to the shop twice a day for the past week. It all started from the day we returned from the mountain. All this is part of some of his new tricks and he is making Bella the victim of it, I replied as I angrily clenched my fist as soon as I saw him wiping Bella's sweat in the video. He was constantly flirting with her and touching her cheeks on the pretext of wiping away her sweat. Watching that scene, it seemed to me all I could think about was my desire to scratch out his eyes as soon as they traveled from her lips down to her chest. I also saw how wisely he had chosen to become her friend. His true intentions were in his eyes, which were full of evil. Ross was also feeling the same. I was enraged. I cannot understand what is going on in his mind, but I think Luna is in danger. Leo stated as I shut down the laptop. I was not able to bear watching any more of it. What should we do now? Ian graduated from the school. He is also the son of one of the 5 trustees like you are. I can't stop him from coming to the school. The principal told me, and I looked at everyone as I took a long deep breath. We do not have any strong evidence related to the incident and attack on us on the mountain that would prove that the Greenwood Pack orchestrated and executed it, so that is why we cannot blame him. He has done this work under complete secrecy. His arrival indicates a new danger. We will not have to do anything, but we have to stay vigilant. Just keep working according to Alpha's order. I informed them all. They understood my words anyway. Gradually, they all left my house until only Leo and David remained. Are you really not going to warn Luna? David asked. Leo also appeared worried about this. Let's talk about this later. I'm tired too. You all go back to your house. I told them. They both left from there. My eyes were once again on my laptop, but my fury had returned. I kicked and broke the laptop. Entering the bathroom off of my bedroom, slamming the door, I stood under the shower as it was the best way to calm myself. I wrapped the towel around my waist, taking a calming breath. When I came out of the bathroom, I saw Jessica sitting on her bed. What are you doing here? I asked. Well, at least I had smelled her. Due to this I came out wearing a towel. She only replied after looking at me from top to bottom. Have you forgotten that I still have the key to your house? For the last 2 years I have kept it. She admitted while showing it with a smile. Get out of my house and don't forget to leave the key on the table, I ordered her in a commanding voice and turned around, but after listening to me she got up and hugged me. Asher, please don't talk to me rudely. I will not be able to bear it anymore, she whined, and I rolled my eyes and turned. Stop touching me, Jessica. Now there is nothing between us. I urged, trying to push her away, but she clung to me tightly. Please give me a chance, Asher, please, I believe I can make my place in your heart again. She begged, pushing me back on the bed as she started to climb on my body. Jessica, this is your last warning. Don't test my patience. I warned her, but she chose that moment to attack my lips, kissing me. Let me have you. Enjoy it with me. She whimpered, but I broke the kiss. I do not want you, I sternly said to her. Why? Because of Bella. She asked as her hand came to my cheek. Suddenly I remembered that she would move on with her life and forget about everything. Would she really move on with her life? She is not related to this, I stated while she pulled her clothes off. It was like a one-piece frock-type dress. When she undressed I saw that she was not wearing anything under it. Jessica, I am stopping myself from not slapping you due to our childhood friendship. Now get off. Or I will, I bellowed, but she did not let me finish, placing her hand over my mouth. If you cannot love me then it's okay. Then consider me your slave. Make me your slave, your biche, just make me yours. She moaned, touching my towel. I gripped her and pushed her off of my body and slapped her. She fell on the ground, I threw her dress in her face. You have lost your mind, Jessica. Your mate will be devastated when they learn they are mated to a woman like you. Now as you have not followed my orders, you will be sent out of the pack for at least 10 years, I announced, and she started crying. What? Please no. She pleaded, trying to grab a hold of my legs. Get out of my house or I will make it 20 years. I warned her. She quickly got up from the floor, leaving the room quickly while grabbing her phone. I clutched my palm in anger. I have never slapped a woman before, but she had left me no other choice. I need to do something about this matter. At the same time I felt when she was touching me I felt like I was going to vomit. Ross was feeling disgusted, asking me to kill her as she had touched us. At the moment I feel that only one touch would be able to soothe me, Bella's touch. Victoria's P.O.VR bus entered through the main gate of the school, and as soon as the bus stopped all the sports girls jumped out happily. The team had won the national championship game. I ordered everyone to head back home because for the last 3 days we had been in another city and could not relax at all. Everyone was in dire need of rest. I was also very tired, but due to happiness my feet were not touching the ground. Also, on the trip I could not get any cell phone service at the hotel where we were staying, so during the last 3 days I could not talk to anyone, not even David. However, since the day we returned from the mountain, the tension between us has reduced slightly. Whenever he used to talk to me, I used to answer simply yes or no, which made him laugh as it gave him a silver lining. I had also decided that I would gradually forgive him and start a new life with him like I had always wanted. Only I know how I had spent my time in these past 3 days without seeing him. He must be at school. My wolf was dying to see him and so was I. With my bag in hand, as soon as I thought of entering the school, I noticed a big car entering from the school gate. On seeing the car, I recognized whose car it was. As the car door opened, my bag fell from my hand as only one person came out from the car. It was Alpha Ian of my old pack. Ian. What was he doing here? I saw him going straight to the administrative officer's office. Has he even started coming to school? I did not know about that. What changed here in just 3 days? But he was back at school, which meant that there was definitely going to be a big problem. Immediately, picking up my bag from the ground, I ran inside the school. I threw my luggage in the locker room and entered the staff room straight away. Victoria? I heard that your team won the gold medal. Congratulations! One of the teachers present there said as everyone began congratulating me, but my eyes were only on finding George, but he was not present there. Thank you all, but I am looking for George. Do you guys know where he is? I asked with a big smile on my face. Trying to completely hide the things going on in my mind, I asked them so that no one would be suspicious. Some teachers present were werewolves and some from the enemy pack. 15 minutes ago I saw him going to his office. As soon as the teacher told me, I hightailed it out of there and entered his office. He had a file in his hand that he was reading. He laid his eyes on me as his nose caught my scent. I expected that you would definitely come to see me, but I didn't know that you would be so desperate to meet me that you would forget to knock on the door too. George smiled, taunting me. And one more thing, you are looking hot as you are sweating. I just want to lick your whole body with my tongue. George commented, licking his lips, expressing his dirty mind. I listened to him as I angrily clenched my fist. Stop your George! I screamed at him. He got up from his chair and came close to me. Now you are beginning to think that my words are nonsense? Why? Because your mate has marked you? When we were lovers you did not think my words were bad. George replied, looking at the mark on my neck with hatred and fury. I felt as if he would scratch that part with his eyes if he could. I have not come here to talk to you all about this, George. I told him as he went towards his chair, but did not sit. So what are you here for? He asked, raising his brow. There is no need to be so naive and silly. You know very well why I am here. I just saw Ian in school. When he finished school last year, what is he doing at this school all of a sudden? I inquired. He listened to me, but maintained a bored appearance. What kind of question is that? He is the son of one of the trustees of this school. Our father the Alpha is a trustee too. He can come here whenever he wants. He doesn't need anyone's permission, George replied. I was frustrated from listening to him as I knew he was pretending to be oblivious to his brother's plans. There is no need to lie to me, George. You are lying to me as if I do not know you and your monster brother well. I have spent 25 years of my life in your pack, in that living hell. I know that his coming here is just and only a bad sign. He is after Asher. The rogues that attacked us on the mountain that day were not an accident, but a conspiracy. Maybe I don't need to tell you who can do such a cheap scheme. You are such a low person that you are using your brother to take revenge. I exclaimed, and upon hearing me, he got so furious that he threw the file on the table in ire, coming closer to me. No need to talk to me like this, Victoria. You wouldn't even dare talk to me like that. If I wanted, I could kidnap you from here, take away your pack, and your so-called mate David would not be able to do a thing about it. I would release all my desire on your body and you would regret ever calling me a monster, because I will show you how monstrous I am. He declared in his sadistic tone. It gave me the chills as I remember my past with him. One day when he was drunk he tried to force himself on me. He scares me. Why do I feel that suddenly this wild cat has turned into a pussycat? He teased, touching my cheeks with his dirty hands. I instantly shoved his hand away. Don't touch me! I shrieked, trying to get out of the room, but he just closed the door and pushed me into the wall. How can you leave? I thought you came here so that you could learn why Ian is back, he said playfully near my lips. I swiftly moved my mouth to the other side before he could kiss me. Now I am not interested, I replied in a stern tone. He released a sadistic laugh. You should know, Victoria. You should know. He crowed. I again looked at his face, which was full of loathing, anger, and confidence. What do you mean? Why is Ian here? I asked, confused. Hearing me, an evil smirk played across his lips. Ian is here for his bride, he whispered into my ear. I did not know why his words sent chills down my whole body. I was so lost in his words that I was not even aware that he was too close to me again. As his lips touched mine I came to my senses, but before I could push him away someone pushed him away. It was none other than David. You! David yelled as he kicked George. My eyes widened. How had he known I was here? He saw George kissing me. I was dead. So what? George shouted back. They were getting into a huge fight. His whole office turned into a wreck. Soon pack members were going to arrive. It was going to become a big issue as George is the son of an alpha. David! I screamed, running towards him, grabbing his arm. Let's go. No need to fight. I coaxed him, but he got angrier. No. Today I will kill him. How dare he kiss you? David yelled. They were not listening to me. I got between them, pushing George first and then David. I said stop. I screamed at both of them, glaring at George who had kissed me. I slapped him hard across his face. That was for the kiss. Don't touch me again. I warned him and he smiled at me. That slap proves you still love me, Victoria. He insisted, annoying David even more. I just held David's hand and walked out of his office before they created more of a mess. I heard both of them growling at each other on top of it. I brought David into the locker room and as the doors got locked he pulled me into his arms, holding me tightly. Why didn't you call me on time? What were you doing in his office? He shouted at me in anger. I just went there. I could not complete my sentence as he cupped my cheeks. No matter what your reason was, you still went to him. He kissed you and you let him. I was dying here waiting for you these past 3 days, longing to see you just once, but when you came back you did not come to me but went to him instead. What does it mean?" he implored, looking hurt. I was in tears listening to him. "Please listen to me," I urged, but he just left my body, shaking his head. "You will feel my pain when you see me kissing another girl," David remarked and walked out of the room, slamming the door in anger. I collapsed to the floor crying. I had been thinking about the new start with him, but everything was ruined. What will I do if he goes to another woman? I couldn't even imagine. Asher's p.o.v. I was fast asleep when suddenly the ringing of my phone ring entered my ears. I was still holding the bottle of alcohol in my hand tightly, which had been with me since last night. Last night, many things related to Bella had been going through my mind in such a constant state that I was not in a position to think about anything else. I was desperate to see her and wanted to go to her house as soon as possible, but in the gym that day she said that everything was over between us now. We both had nothing to offer each other but pain. She will move on with her life and she was just waiting for my rejection. Each of her words, choices, and the tears coming out of her eyes were all shattering my heart into countless pieces. This was what I had always wanted, then why am I in such agony right now? Slowly cracking my eyes open, I looked at the chandelier above me, then the bottle of wine in my hand. Last night I drank the whole bottle, but still had a lot of difficulty sleeping. Putting the bottle on top of the table, when I sat up on the couch, my phone rang again. Leo kept calling me again and again. "Hello?" I gruffed out into the phone, keeping my head on the couch because now I had a headache too. "It's 9 in the morning. Why haven't you come to school yet?" Leo asked as soon as I heard him. I looked at the clock, seeing that it was really 9. "Why? What happened? Is there any issue?" I asked him, remembering yesterday's conversation with the pack members. "I just learned from the principal that a meeting is taking place in the midst of all the alphas in our city. The Greenwood Pack's Alpha and Alpha Gabriel are also going to attend, and because of this the principal is back at the pack," Leo explained. I did not know why I was listening to Leo, as if maybe this meeting had been held due to the attack on us on the mountain, but Dad had not wanted to settle the matter in that way. Then the reason for this meeting was not what we were thinking. At the same time, I have to give you one more piece of information. Ian and his pack have arrived at school," Leo informed me. Upon hearing that ill-fated news of the morning, my fury from yesterday returned. Again, every single scene of the CCTV camera began popping into my mind. I had been thinking of not going to school today, but this news forced me to attend, as now my absence would mean meeting Bella and Ian. "I will be arriving at school in the next half hour," I replied. Lily's p.o.v. With a long deep breath, I exited the police station and looked back. I had come here earlier, but now there was another reason for coming. Oliver was still in the ICU. I do not know if he opened his eyes or not, or how many of his bones that Asher had broken, but I had been called in here to sign in connection with the complaint Leo and Asher had charged against Oliver and his friends. His friends were already in jail. Despite Oliver having been in the ICU since the incident, I had not gone to see him. Anyway, I was strongly instructed by Leo that if I went to see him, he would come to know of it. He had some men keeping an eye there who kept him informed of even the smallest action. I don't know why he felt that I would have pity on Oliver to go to see him. I don't know when this jealousy will end for him. He clearly knows that he was only my step-brother. He was not coming in front of my eyes but doing everything from behind. Thinking all this, after a while, as soon as I entered the doors of the school, my eyes were on Leo, who was surrounded by girls. He was surrounded by all the junior girls, many of whom were also from my class. I have also heard many girls saying that they liked Leo and are always trying new ways to get close to him. His eyes landed on me. As our eyes met, my heart was beating fast. It was like I have not seen his dark green eyes for years. He instantly looked away from me like I was not there and began to pay attention to the other girls. I do not understand what was going on between us. Why have they surrounded him? Seeing all this with a glance, I entered the canteen. I ordered a soft drink for myself, starting to drink it slowly, not breaking the view in front of my eyes. David had said that he does not like to be near humans. It could not be possible that all the girls who are standing around him are all werewolves. Then why was he not moving away from them? He used to glare at me, say bad things, and yes. How could I forget that he used to threaten me, saying that he would pull out my heart if I was around him? I mumbled everything in frustration as the girls were buzzing around him like bees. He again peeked at me one time and turned his eyes toward another girl that made me fist my palm in irritation. Had he smiled at that girl? I immediately got up from there and left the canteen. I knew very well that David was lying to me. No matter if he was human or werewolf, he would never push away any girl, as every male enjoys attention from girls. It was just he never liked me to begin with, as I was not intelligent or beautiful like other girls. I looked back and glared at him before leaving the canteen completely. Bella's P.O.V. I have been receiving messages from Jesse since I left home. Now that I have reached the school grounds, I was still talking to him. After seeing last night's photo of Asher and Jessica, I had decided what to do. It would be a lie if I said that I was not hurt after viewing that photo, but I broke down badly. I only said that I would move on with my life, but I could not do that, but he had done it already. It had not even been a few hours and he had found a new girl for himself and was making love with her. I had also decided that as soon as I finished my exam, I would change cities again. I would go to a new city and find some work there. In the shop where I work now, I get double the salary, which is nothing short of a miracle for me, but I have to find a similar place in a new city. I was talking to Jesse about this regard and he was telling me the names of some safe and quiet cities where I could live. As soon as Lena came to know that I was thinking about changing cities, she became furious with me. Since that moment she has not even said one word to me. She was not against leaving the city, but against leaving Asher. I was doing this so that I could forget him. This decision was also not easy for me, but after seeing yesterday's photo, I am so irate that I have not been able to calm down yet. That was why I have not met Lily, nor would I meet anyone else today, so that my anger did not erupt on someone that did not deserve it. It will be good for me to stay away from everyone today. I did not want to see Asher's face today. At that moment I happened to bump into someone while walking. The two hands of the same person saved me from falling. It was very strange. Even though I had been walking, messaging on my phone, I was aware of things around me. I knew that no one had been coming in front of me. It meant that the person had stepped out in front of me. As I lifted my eyes, they widened in surprise as Ian was standing in front of me. "You did not get hurt anywhere, right?" Sorry I did not stay calm after seeing you, I came close to running to get to you," he said, looking deep into my eyes, showing his feelings. "Ian, what are you doing here?" I asked. I was so surprised. I had called his name very loudly. Now the people around us are watching everything. "I am glad that you are now calling me by name. It's so sweet when you call me," he told me with a heart-wrenching handsome smile. I immediately lowered my eyes as he started flirting, but saw that I was still in his grip. Slowly removing both his hands from my waist, I stepped away from him. "What are you doing here?" I asked, repeating my question. "My father is a trustee of this school. I started coming to this school, but for the last year I was out and have just returned, so you don't know that I was a student here," he told me, smiling, but then I remembered something. So I turned around in anger and changed my path. "Hey Bella! What's wrong? Are you angry with me?" Ian questioned as he came in front of me, standing in my way. "I don't want to talk to you. After today I don't even need you to recognize me," I told him in a stern tone. "But why? I went to the shop in search of you this morning, but I did not see you there. The manager said that you had gone to deliver something, and when you came back, you were busy with other customers and did not even look at me. If you have any kind of resentment, please tell me, but don't ignore me," he begged. He was not letting me go. I crossed my arms over my chest, hoping silently that he would get to the point. I intentionally went for a delivery before his arrival so that he would leave after not finding me, but he kept waiting for me. Despite that, I ignored him the whole time, but I didn't know that he was the son of a trustee of the school and I could possibly run into him here. "Please tell me what I am guilty of, Bella," he pleaded again. It was then that I broke my silence. "Your mistake is that you have lied to me. I came to learn who ordered the rogues that attacked us on the mountain that day. You were behind all of that. You did not do well. If I had already known that you were the same Alpha, I would never have been friends with you," I informed him. This morning Lily had told me everything that David had recounted to her about Ian. He was surprised by that fact. "What? I am the one who told those rogues to attack? All the allegations that have been leveled against me are completely wrong. I was not even in this city on that day. I do not know of any kind of attack, nor did I have a hand in any conspiracy. Yes, I am the future Alpha of the Greenwood Pack and Asher's Pack is my enemy, but that does not mean that whatever goes wrong with that pack is and always means that I am the reason," he argued, and he had a point. By looking at him it did not seem as if he was lying. It seemed Asher and his pack had misunderstood due to the hostility. He was looking at me with a crestfallen face, waiting for a reply. "If you still don't believe me, then let me talk to my friends with whom I was in another city that day," Ian said, taking his phone out of his pocket. He was dying to prove himself innocent, thinking that I would not talk to him. "No, there is no need for all of that," I relented, stopping him before he called his friends and proved himself to be true. I did not want to be involved in this matter any longer. My mind was already trapped up enough as it was. "So do you believe me now?" he asked me with a smile. I was thinking before answering him. "Well, okay, don't answer that, but I thought you were a lone wolf, so how did you get involved with Asher's pack?" he inquired. "I have nothing to do with anyone's pack. I have always been a lone wolf and always will be. The issue was because those rogues wanted to kill me too. At the time I was not in a position to protect myself. I only revealed that they wanted to kill me. I did not mention anything about my heat. He frowned at my words. What did you say? Those rogues wanted to harm you too? He questioned and was very angry as I nodded. If I were there, I would have ripped every one of them apart. Ian exclaimed with a terrible growl as his wolf was on the surface, which I was alarmed to see. Why are you getting so angry? I asked in panic and he controlled himself. Suddenly he got closer to me as his hand touched my arm. Because I am worried about you, Bella. You already know I like you. He confessed again and I swallowed hard. Why does he always say those things? Stop saying that. Others will get the wrong idea. We are just friends, I stated, looking around here and there while trying to escape from his grip. He just held me even tighter and I felt his hands traveling down to my waist. Friend, but soon to be your boyfriend, and then your lover, Ian whispered. His hands were inches away from my waist. I was going to stop him, when I was pulled back and my back hit something hard. I was startled badly as I knew who was behind me. His furious, dominant, and dangerous growl filled my ears as his hands possessively held me in his grip. She is mine. Touch her again and I will break both your hands and shove them down your throat after ripping your body to pieces. Asher shouted at Ian, completely ignoring that the whole school was watching us. I immediately moved away from him and looked back. My jaw dropped when I saw his wolf's eyes. What did you say? Ian also growled. When I looked back at him, his wolf's eyes were also visible. My heart was going to burst in my chest having to witness this scene. It was like they were going to turn into their wolves in front of everyone. You heard me. Don't dare to touch her. Asher enunciated and punched each word to make him understand. I saw how both of them were face to face while I was sandwiched between the two of them so that they would stop. I was looking for Leo or David to stop the two of them. Why weren't they here? I roamed my eyes and found them, but why weren't they doing anything? Asher's pack was standing behind him and Ian's pack did the same for him. Both sides were giving each other murderous looks. I will touch her because she is not yours. Ian shouted back. People are watching us, both of you, stop immediately, I demanded. Asher looked down at me. His wolf's eyes were still out as he was taking a deep breath. She has been mine since I laid my eyes on her, Asher revealed, but as he was telling me, my heart stopped at his words. His voice changed and was warm. In your dreams. I have confessed my feelings to her and she is going to accept them. Tell him, Bella. Tell him that you will. Ian yelled and I blinked my eyes. What? I would accept Ian and leave Asher? Soon he would reject me, leaving me a pathetic mess. I also remembered his photos with Jessica. He had already moved on with his life, so why did he care? He was calling me his, but now I was not his. I was never his as he never saw me as his mate. He could never see me as more than a lone wolf. This mating had also made me crazy, but now I also need to move on. Yes, he is right. I told Asher. Ian chuckled. Asher's eyes did not tear away from me, but he only stared at me. "Let's go, Bella," Ian commanded softly with a victory smile on his face as I moved away from Asher, who was looking restless as I was walking away with Ian. Why was he giving me that look? Doesn't he know how I felt when his girlfriend sent me those photos? Asher's eyes went to Ian's hand that was on my waist. "Move your hands from my," he growled, but did not complete his words. He could not say that I am his mate. He said mine. It proved that he was still feeling shame at the thought of accepting me. I was too hurt. It had become unbearable for me. "I am not yours, Asher," I said as I turned to leave. My heart had turned to heavy lead in my chest, as I was about to feel his emotion. He was hurt, so I would be as well, but I cannot be weak. Suddenly his hand pulled me back by my arms. I just died with desire right there. "You were born to be mine," he roared, crushing his lips to mine in front of the whole school. His one hand cuffed both my wrists behind my back to stop me from pushing him away, and his other hand held my waist. By doing this he controlled my whole body. A moan escaped from my lips. I could hear Ian's angry breath and other people's words. Everyone was talking about us. I felt his hardness against my body that made me wet between my legs. I wanted him. I opened my eyes as he broke this deep kiss for a second. "Do you understand?" he inquired, biting my lips and leaving his mark. "Why did you forget it when you moved on with Jessica?" I quipped, making him let go of my hands. "What?" he asked, making a confused face, but now it was of no use as I had seen everything. "I have also moved on," I declared, walking away from him. The principal's P.O.V. I was in school even though it was early morning and Sunday no less. I was having to work overtime as the students' final exams were close and I had to sign some important papers. I would have done it sooner, but I wasn't in school as I had been with Alpha Gabriel and now there was a heap load of work pending. I was slowly working through the paperwork when my phone began to ring. When I looked at the screen I was shocked to see that it was Alpha Gabriel calling me. I was confused as to why he would be calling me at this time, but quickly answered the phone, not wanting to keep him waiting. "Errol," Alpha Gabriel said as soon as I answered the phone. Wait, he used my first name, so whatever this was about it must be quite serious, but what could have happened? I was with Alpha Gabriel at the Alpha's meeting. I thought it all went as well as could be expected. The meeting was held on some other matters, but then the Alpha of Greenwood Pack started to hinder our mutual issues. He was not agreeing to any kind of agreement, but then he had to bow down and we won. The Alpha of Greenwood Pack was furious, but couldn't do anything. Everything went fine in the meeting, so I did not understand why Alpha Gabriel was being serious in this way. "Yes, Alpha," I replied. I was eager to listen to him carefully, ready to take orders. For the past hour I have been trying to call Asher, but he hasn't picked up the phone once. I have tried calling David and Leo as well, but none of them have answered my calls, Alpha informed me. He sounded calm once again. "What is going on there?" he shouted down the phone. This sentence held so much fury that I felt as if he was standing in front of me shouting at me. My wolf flinched hearing him. "I don't know, Alpha, but I will quickly go to the boys and find out the situation," I answered. As soon as I had answered him, the door of my office room banged open, revealing Alpha Gabriel standing there with his dangerous aura. "There is no need anymore because I have come here myself," Alpha Gabriel exclaimed, putting the phone down, and seeing him here, my eyes widened. It was obvious what had caused him to get to this state. He was so crazy in love with his son that because Asher did not pick up his phone for just an hour, he came here to look for him, to search for him. He was not alone either, as usual Beta Levi was also with him, standing behind him. I came to my senses and instantly bowed my head in front of both of them. Today those boys are dead. Third person P.O.V. Alpha Gabriel's car stopped in front of Asher's mansion. It was the first time he had been here in a year. Due to the business of work, he used to visit the city very rarely, as well as due to many businesses, he had to go abroad rather often. Therefore, he had not been able to come here for the last year, but he was always taking stock of the atmosphere around his son by the principal. But today, as soon as the three boys did not answer his phone calls, he realized that something was wrong. Beta Levi had also called Leo several times, but he also did not receive any answer. First, they both went to David's house, but there was no one there, not even Victoria. After repeatedly calling his son, Beta Levi also went to Leo's house thinking that the three boys would be there, but none of them were there either. By then both of them understood that they would all be at Asher's house. Beta Levi took out the key from his pocket, and as the door opened, a strong smell of alcohol entered their nostrils. The view was quite new as soon as they entered inside. The three boys were lying on three different sofas in the living room. Someone's hand was dropped off of the couch, someone's foot was there. On the other hand, Asher had one foot on the couch and the other leg on the ground. A bottle of wine fell from Leo's hand and rolled down. Asher was still holding the bottle of liquor tightly in his hands even though he was asleep. It was clearly visible that the trio succeeded in getting completely wasted last night, and all three were heavily inebriated today. This was the reason, when Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi called these three, no one picked up the phone. They both looked at each other and then at all three boys. They all looked like dead bodies, but then one of them moved a little. It was none other than David. "David!" Alpha Gabriel called his name. As it entered David's ears he moved more, but did not open his eyes. He made some weird noises out of his mouth and again went to sleep. "David!" Alpha Gabriel yelled, using his alpha tone. After hearing him, David hurriedly sat up on the sofa and opened his eyes. His eyes nearly popped out of his head as he saw Alpha himself in front of him. "Alpha!" David shouted in fear, standing up. After hearing him, Asher and Leo had also woken up. Leo fell from the sofa and Asher had saved himself just before his face was also going to slam into the floor. All the boys look at the furious faces of Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi. "Dad," Asher said, shocked while Leo was looking at his father up and down in disbelief. "Should they not be in the pack? It's not a dream. Now, sit on the sofa properly and bow to Alpha." Beta Levi ordered Leo in a cold tone. Leo got up from the floor, bowing to Alpha Gabriel as he went to the sofa next to Asher. David, who was still standing up, sweating badly due to the alpha tone which had been used on him. Alpha Gabriel gestured to him to sit next to Asher. Now all three of the boys were on the same sofa, surrounded by Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi. Did you know that I called all three of you boys between 100 and 200 times in Alpha 2, but none of you answered? Beta Levi scolded all three males. Sorry uncle, but we were sleeping so, David offered by way of excuse, trying to hide the real thing with a smile, but as soon as he got a shrewd look from Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi, he closed his mouth smiling in the same way as he understood his smile was not going to work now. The room's condition was screaming everything that had happened. Asher slowly hid his wine bottle as he saw that his father's angry eyes were on it. When did you start drinking this wine? Alpha Gabriel asked. All the boys kept silent. No one in the pack knew that they had started drinking alcohol. He only knew about David as David was much older than them, about 6 or 7 years older. Asher took a deep breath as he saw his father was not going to leave this topic. Dad, now that you know the truth, there is no point in hiding. I started drinking when I was 16, Asher confessed the truth, placing the wine bottle he had hidden behind him back on the table. Not only me, but Leo as well, Asher clarified, as he knew that Leo would not be able to open his mouth in front of his father. There was only one man in the entire pack who never drank alcohol and never thought that his son would drink, he was Beta Levi. Leo lifted his eyes to see his father's face trying to gauge if he was angry or not, but he felt relief when his facial expression was normal. What happened that caused you boys to drink so much alcohol that you could not hear the phone ring? You guys didn't even realize when we entered. Alpha Gabriel rebuked, still quite angry. I left all my important work to come here just to see if you guys were in trouble. Ever since you had been attacked on that mountain, I have been very worried. What would I do if you did not answer the phone in the same way? Alpha Gabriel asked. After listening to him, the three boys realized their mistake. I'm sorry, Dad. Asher and Leo said together to their dads. I'm sorry, Uncle. David also apologized to Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi. By the way, why did all three of you drink so much alcohol? What has happened? Beta Levi wondered, raising one of his eyebrows. None of the three males responded, so he decided to pick one to get to talk. David, you are essentially the elder brother of these two. First of all, you tell me. What has happened? Beta Levi inquired, then looked at Alpha Gabriel. David had a long face. They both understood something was wrong. I got into an argument with Victoria because of George. I know I was too greedy to ask her before marking her. I was a crazy when I rejected her, but I have been trying my best to win her heart back. I am doing everything that I can, but I think I am the only one who loves her. I am crazy in love with her, but she doesn't love me. David divulged everything to Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi, but did not tell them about the kiss between Victoria and George. He wanted to deal with that matter himself. He sounded so melancholy and his eyes were red, which proved that he had been crying. Asher and Leo looked at David as they both knew about the kiss between Victoria and George. Last night he was so depressed that he was the one who brought the alcohol over to Asher's mansion. He was cursing, shouting, and going crazy while telling them the whole story. So you think Victoria does not love you but loves George? Beta Levi asked him, but he was bowing his head, only listening to him. Have you ever thought that at the time when you rejected her she could have just accepted it and gone straight to George, but she didn't? She didn't give up on you and kept waiting for a whole year for you to change your mind. She never let any other man come into her life. She did everything only for you, Beta Levi explained. As his words hit David's mind, making him glance up at the Beta. I know what you told us is not the whole truth, but the amount of pain that you have caused her is not comparable to what has happened to you now, Alpha Gabriel started to say and then sighed. Once again you got desperate, jealous, and lashed out hurting her. George is her ex-lover, but so what? You are her mate and you have hurt her. If you feel that she doesn't love or like you, but she does George, then it is your own fault as you let your mate go when you had the chance. You still have time, but you need to make sure that she is yours and only yours. You still have time to win her heart, Alpha Gabriel advised, finishing his words with a smile, then placed his hand on David's shoulder. David nodded his head, like a kid normally does. After hearing both of them, David was thinking hard about it. He was picturing everything that he saw in the room. When he had reached the room, Victoria was trapped between George's arms and he was the one who was kissing her. She was in no way responding. In jealousy, fury, and panic he had just blamed her without thinking, once again hurting her badly. He made the same mistake claiming that he would kiss another woman. Alpha Gabriel chuckled to see him pulling at his hair. Leo laughed watching him. What about you? Beta Levi suddenly asked Leo, whose smile slowly faded away. About me? Nothing. I am okay. Leo claimed in a cool way. Yeah kid, don't try and hide anything from your dad. He knows everything. Maybe he can give you some tips to attract your mate. We know she is human and hard to handle, Alpha Gabriel added, grabbing the can of beer from the table. Leo looked at Alpha then his father with a long face. Nothing can make her attracted to me. She saw me shifting into a wolf and killing rogues. She is scared of me and does want me in her life, Leo disclosed, telling them everything. Now David had come to know the real issue. Well, he had predicted that they would be like that. Did she say that she does not like you? Beta Levi asked, looking a little angry at seeing his son appear so broken and dejected. No, but in the woods she acted like that. Yesterday she suddenly looked angry, glared at me then ignored me, Leo muttered. Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi glanced at each other. So what do you want? Beta Levi asked and Leo shook his head. I also do not know, Leo started to say, when Alpha Gabriel and Beta Levi interrupted him. Then reject that human girl and choose a werewolf for a mate, they said simultaneously. What? Never! Leo almost shouted, forgetting whom he was about to offend. I am really sorry. I did not mean to. I just, Leo stammered, lowering his eyes as he heard laughter coming from Alpha and his father. So now you know what you want, correct? Beta Levi inquired. Leo understood that it had been planned by Alpha and Beta. They had intentionally said that to him, about rejecting Lily, so that they could witness his reaction in order to determine what he truly desires. What do you think, Levi? Our pack member Michael's daughter would be best for Leo, Alpha Gabriel taunted, but it was not only Leo but Asher and David as well that looked on with shock. Yes, Alpha, I would have to agree she is the best girl. Leo's mother also likes her as she is beautiful, intelligent, and would be a good housewife for my Leo, Beta Levi replied, continuing to push his son. Leo's jaw had dropped at this point as he was finding this part of the conversation absurd. This was in no way acceptable. In front of his eyes his father and Alpha were arranging a marriage for him. "Dad, how can you do this to me? No matter how beautiful, intelligent, and amazing Michael's daughter is, I will not accept her. I do not want just any good housewife or anything. Lily may be human, but is better than anyone, and is meant only for me. I am sure Mom will adore her. I will not marry anyone except Lily." Leo promised everything in one breath and the whole room grew silent upon hearing him. "Oh, so you have thought that far? Marriage?" Asher wondered as Leo slowly blinked his eyes. Had he really talked about marriage? At that moment the room erupted in male laughter, including Leo. He had just fallen into the trap of Alpha and Beta. "Uncle, you are the perfect Alpha and Beta team that no one can win against you," David insisted. There were proud smiles on Alpha Gabriel's and Beta Levi's faces. "Yeah, we are," they said in unison. Leo saw his father grabbing a can of beer and drinking it. "Dad, I thought you did not drink," Leo claimed while Asher was also shocked. He had never seen him drinking. "Yeah, but I drink with my mate only." "Have you ever drunk with your mates?" Beta Levi asked all the boys. They shook their heads. "Okay, so just do it. You will find it more drinkable and intoxicating," Beta Levi recommended as Alpha Gabriel held out the beer can towards boys. David and Leo drank it, but not Asher. He was only looking at it. Alpha Gabriel noticed him, but did not ask his reason for getting drunk last night. "Asher," Alpha Gabriel called. "Yes, Dad," Asher answered, taking a deep breath thinking that he would ask him about his problem. "Do you know how I mated you, Mom?" Alpha Gabriel asked and Asher instantly looked up as he heard about his mom. "No, I don't," he replied. There was a devilish smile on Alpha Gabriel's face. "In the school camp. She was the most beautiful female in the whole school and had pure alpha blood, so she was not an easy girl to get to know, even though I was her mate. She did not give a talk about me. She told me that she only wanted her childhood lover, so she planned on rejecting me. I knew she liked me, but she was receiving family pressure as her father Alpha was a jerk. Before that I made her fall in love with me, made her forget the word rejection. After that she was the one who marked me first and wanted you from me. She could not sleep at all the night she came to know she was pregnant with you. The day you were born, she said that your mate would be just as beautiful of a girl as her son is handsome." Alpha Gabriel reminisced. Asher smiled to hear this. He had never known this story. "Now it's your turn to tell me. Is your mate beautiful?" Alpha Gabriel asked. Leo narrowed his eyes at Asher. David did the same. They had an evil smirks at seeing Asher's smiling face. "What?" Asher growled at both of them, then looked at Alpha Gabriel. "Yeah, she is," Asher softly agreed, drinking his beer. Alpha Gabriel only nodded his head with a smile. He never expected that his son would even tell him that she was beautiful. "Well, what is her name?" Asher Gabriel inquired. "Bella." Asher quickly replied. "So when you are bringing her to our pack?" He wondered. "Dad, now please don't start." Asher grumbled, getting up from there and leaving the living room. "I will not start, but I will wait." There is no less than 2 weeks to your exam and then I will see you will come back to the pack either with your mate or alone. Alpha Gabriel shouted his command, but Asher did not look back. He just went to his room throwing his body on the bed and gazing up at the ceiling. He was thinking about his mom and dad's love story. He knew his father had not told him the story for nothing. He understood the reason, but everything is not as easy as it seems, he groaned to himself, thinking about yesterday when Bella said that she was not his. That she had moved on. He just threw the pillow, closing his eyes in anger. Move on with Ian. Asher howled in his mind, just wanting to kill him, but then got a message from David. Open the school page. David had messaged him instead of coming to his room. As soon as Asher saw the school page his mind went blank. Ian's P.O.V stopping my car in front of the pack house. I charged inside, burning with rage. Everyone bowed in front of me and was shocked to see me back as they had just seen me that morning when I should be in the city near Bella, but I just did not care about anything other than finding the person whom I wanted. My beta. Jack. Alpha, why are you here? I thought you were still in town. If there was any urgent work, you could have called me, Jack asked as he was surprised to see me here. He was wondering why I was here, but in response I punched him, splitting his lip. Other pack members were taken aback to witness this while others were shocked. They all moved away in fear. Jack was mostly surprised. He immediately lowered his head and eyes. I am sorry, Alpha, he apologized as I continued to punch him 4 more times. I gave you one task to finish Asher's pack on the mountain using those rogues, but you couldn't even complete that simple task. But not only that, they tried to harm Bella. I shouted at him. He immediately fell on his knees as he came to realize the main reason for my rage. Bella was the most important thing for me here and they tried to harm her. I know we could not accomplish your orders of finishing his pack even though he didn't have that many members with him, but they were well prepared even if they were suddenly attacked. They all killed each and every rogue, but I had told the rogues to not harm Bella. They were very well aware of what they needed to do. The issue was that they all became aroused, just getting lost in their desire when they saw her and forgot that they could not harm her, Jack replied. His words made me confused. I know she was beautiful with a figure like a goddess, but I do not think that her beauty could make them forget a task as I had promised to make them the part of my pack. They were willing to do anything to join my pack. What you are trying to say? Just spit it out. I ordered him. Actually, I came to learn that she went into heat. Her heat drove them crazy and they lost their mental balance when they saw her in that condition. They forgot their aim and wanted to devour her, Jack revealed. His words shocked me. What the hell? She went into heat. How is that even possible? She doesn't have a mate, so how? I yelled. Jack was trembling in fear. I also do not know, Alpha, but it happened. It is all true, he informed me. The next thought I had just trapped my mind. So if it is true, then Asher is the one who linked her when she was in heat. I roared in anger as I clenched my palm. Jack weakly nodded his head. Yes, Alpha, he replied. I growled out in fury. He touched what was mine. But I should be the one to have her. I kicked, beat, and punished Jack or everyone who could not complete their task, but it still did not lessen my anger. Asher! Asher! Asher. He was the one who was the root of the problem. He had touched her. I let him have his way every time, even David snatched Victoria from George. I would make them pay for every sin they had committed. I came back only for her, my bride. She is mine. 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 I screamed again while my voice echoed throughout the whole pack. She did wrong by giving herself to Asher. I will punish her every second for that mistake in my bed where she would beg me to stop and let her sleep, but I will do more. I vowed out loud to myself. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.